Hey everyone, welcome back to Williamson Ridge Outdoors. Today I've got kind of the start of a project. I'm going to run over to my mom's house to pick something up. We're going to take our PJ 16-foot tandem axle trailer over there to pick it up. So it is something kind of large, so follow along with us today and I'll show you what we got. We're also using today as sort of a test of our new DJI Osmo Pocket. So we made it over to my mom's house, and let me show you what we're actually after. I've got a little project that I plan on working on, and there's kind of a story behind these, which I'll give here in a few minutes after we get this stuff loaded up. Alright, well guys, we got their motorcycles loaded up, and they seem to be good and solid, so we're going to hit the road and get them back to the house and get them put in the garage, and I'll tell you a little story about them. So I've been saying that I was going to tell you a little story about these motorcycles. This Honda right here was the very first motorcycle that my dad ever rode. This is a 1970 Honda CB350. A friend of his bought it brand new, and his friend introduced him to riding pretty much. They were buddies, you know. He's like, you want to take the bike for a ride? So my dad learned how to ride a motorcycle on this motorcycle right here. It wasn't the first one that he owned, but it was the very first one that he ever sat on and got to ride. It has sat now for probably a good 20 years or better. I don't know, maybe not quite that long, but it's been a long time. Before that, it sat a long time. But the issue with this motorcycle was the gas tank. The gas tank actually rusted on the inside, and he had the tank sealed or coated, but that coating evidently didn't work too good because it is rusted like crazy on the inside of that tank. And it's even on the outside, there's big bubbles of rust, and I'm pretty sure that that's not real solid right there. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much just rusted through. So I don't know, we'll see. I may have to replace the tank, but the goal is, over time, I'm definitely going to try to get this thing back on the road again, just simply because it was the very first motorcycle my dad ever rode. So over here to the Suzuki, this is a 95 Suzuki Savage. It's got 23,000 miles on it. I ended up selling it and sold it to a friend of mine. He ended up parking it after just a year or two, and it sat for a long time. And my dad asked him about the motorcycle, and he said, "Hey, do you still have that old motorcycle that Paul used to have?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got it." And he's like, "You want to sell that thing to me?" So ended up, Dad bought this motorcycle back off my buddy. He really bought it thinking he was maybe going to resell it or something. But I'm actually glad that he bought it because, like I say, this is the very first one I ever owned. And because Dad bought it back, then it kind of makes it sentimental to me. But it's a pretty cool combination because it's the very first motorcycle Dad learned to ride. And the first one he learned to ride is also the first one that I learned to ride. You know, when he got this thing off of his friend and he started working on it, then he was riding around, then I started riding around and taking around the yard. You know, straight up gave me the fever. I was like, I've got to get me a street bike. I just absolutely loved it. So ended up buying that Suzuki so that, you know, we could ride around a little bit together. I'm hoping to, you know, whatever goes on with it, if I have to replace that gas tank, which I probably will, I absolutely hate to do it because I'd love to leave it 100% original, but I do want to get it back on the road and actually get to ride it around a little bit. Even if I just take it down, you know, my holler and like just go down there and just zip up and down the road a few times. I don't want to go on no distances. I just want to be able to ride it around, keep it running, and, you know, kind of just enjoy it and reflect on, you know, the times that me and Dad had, you know, messing with this thing. So it's really a cool sentimental pair. And one of them's a 1970, one of them is 25 years newer and is a 1995 model. That's going to be a project coming up. I know a while back I had a restoration project that I had mentioned about working on a Homelite XL12 chainsaw. That project is still on. I just haven't gotten to the point of being able to do any video footage or anything. I've been ordering some parts and stuff for it to be able to work on it. So that video will also be coming up. I really look forward to working on these. Thanks for going along with the ride today. And if you enjoy videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe, and thanks for watching.